Hello and welcome back to me here at DM Talks. I'm very sorry we have been away a little while. We had some problem with ransomware on the computer we use for making the recording. And it turned out it was a bit difficult to fix. So I'm very sorry we had a long break again. I hope it will never happen again. So we are back, and let's start with a great game from the European Championship. It features two of my favorite players. Ruslan Ponomariov, he was sort of a knockout world champion, and he's a very cool guy. He's very small, and he has a sort of a very cool demeanor, and he was a pretty strong player, but somehow he faded away a little bit, and now he's at 26.55. I think he uses most of his time as a coach. I'm not sure he's playing that much anymore. And then in the white corner we have Anton Korobov, one of my heroes. He's both a friendly guy, and he's also playing fantastic chess. And I like Anton. He's a nice guy. And he really plays for blood, so and has a very good feel for dynamics and creative chess, which he shows in this game. A very important game from the fifth round. Both players had 4 out of 4, and if you want to be a European champion, you have to win a lot, especially at the beginning due to the Buchholz system. Anyway, let's jump into the game and see how it goes. Korobov is a d4 player, and this is we're ready for the Queen's Indian. That is if we go with something like this, and we are ready for the Benoni or Burgo Indian, or the most common move nowadays, d5. And here, this is a big crossroad in opening theory. If white gets to this position, he knows a lot of theory because black has an ocean of options here. He can play the Vienna variation, he can play the Scimitars, he can play the Semi-Slav and Orthodox Queen's Gambit, and so on and so on. Right now, Bishop b4, the Rogozin is very popular. White-black pins the knight, and is playing in sort of a Nimzo Indian style, except for that he played a quick d5, which has both sort of good things and bad things. One of the bad things about it is that the bishop is attacked after this move. Right, so and it's giving a check here. Let's see if I can make it another color. Oh yeah, check. Please notice we have switched. We are not using the chess-based interface anymore. We are trying with the chess.com interface. And we'll see if we like it. That also means I have some some stockfish going up in the corner. We'll try not to look at that, because I think one of the good things about the DM Talks channel is that we talk more about plans and ideas than we do about long forced lines, because you can do that for yourself, and in general it's very difficult to learn from calculation by anything else than actually calculating yourself. Okay, this is forced. This move had to this bishop here was under attack, and e3 and castle. And one thing to notice here is they are trying to develop very fast. Bishop d2 is of course to take back with the bishop if black was to take here. And in general, the only thing that's problem with black's position is that the knight is here. This is blocking this pawn, and that can be a little bit frustrating for black, and white might have a little bit more space, but at the moment black is probably ahead in development. Here black plays bishop d6, a little bit strange move, moving, but white, he's probably trying to save some tempi, and because if for instance if white was to go something like this, then you would probably take here, followed by e5, which is sort of the setup you're going for with black in these structures. Instead, white decided to take more space, kick the bishop, but at the same time releasing the tension in the center, which sort of helped black, because you cannot blow black up now. You just have to play more. But it looks kind of good. b4, gaining space on the queen side, and knight e4, trying to counterplay, and sometimes b5, keeping up, taking the bishop pair, and what now? Yes, this move. I kind of like that. So white is playing very, very ambitiously, trying to take a lot of squares. He's hoping that this guy down here will be a bad bishop. At the moment, if you look at and this is something I would probably look at all the pawns in the center of black are on white squares. So white is definitely hoping that this bishop will turn out not to have a bright future. And at the same time, he has a nice bishop here that is definitely not a bad bishop, because all white's pawns are on black squares. But black is solid and got the bishop pair, and white's king is here, right? And he's getting out pretty quickly. Not so easy to prevent. He could not prevent this from happening, because here, if we go back, something like this, you probably play a6, and then if you can't play a4 and take back with the pawn, because the rook is hanging down here. So white decides, okay, I'm playing in the b file, and I still have this guy here that gives me space, and I'm hoping to break through on the queen side. f6, taking away this square from the knight, and maybe getting ready for this move. And attacking h7. I think this position is interesting. Black is still solid. He's got the bishop pair. This bishop is potentially very strong. It can be like a real powerhouse. And if this guy down here gets out, then black can have a very good position, because he has potentially no weaknesses at the moment. He got some squares here, but it's not really a serious problem, and the structure is kind of fine, and he's probably ready to counterattack. And please notice that this king is not that safe. White decides to do something about it, and queen c3, fighting for the dark squares. He's trying to prevent black from playing e5. a6, very interesting situation. If white goes back, the knight c3 does really look bad, right? Like something like this. It just this is not the place where you want your knight. And maybe black can go something like bishop f6, or maybe this move, right? g5, kicking this knight. We're having an X-ray effect down here, and so on. It's so knight a3 does not look good. So what else? Well, there's only one other move. So he goes in here, and this of course gives white good compensation on the black squares, because black will give up his pride and joy, this dark squared bishop. He has to. He cannot tolerate this knight sitting here. Then knight e5 will come, and so on. So this is probably necessary. And here white does have serious pressure. He's pressing here, and this guy here is stuck, and this e5 is not coming. But you could argue that black could maybe play f4 or something, or whatever. Queen d8, as he played, is not really bad, but it's not great either. It's giving up squares. I think black probably should play something like f4, or I'm not sure. Still, I think it's clear that white has compensation, but it's not fantastic in any way. It's not like, and I think a computer will never lose with black here, but you should be able to keep the pressure on. Queen d8, queen c5 helps white. This square here is very important. It's still under white's control. Of course, it would be nicer if you could put the king here, then and maybe play g3 or h3 or something, and so on. But black has problems developing. He cannot move this knight here, and also maybe white is even threatening this at some point. So this knight is not stable. But if it moves, then this square e5 goes and c7 goes. So rook f7 covering all the way here, and please notice this square as well. But white is ready to get some material back. He could play it differently. He could try to say, okay, you're still not threatening anything. I will back with the king. You could also play something like maybe g3 and say, okay, I stop this f4 for forever. It's not. It seems you can also, I think g3 is probably a good move, or maybe king a1. This is a little bit forcing and looks dangerous. One of the big problems with this move, but it's kind of like a guy like Korobov is not afraid. One of the big problem here is it opens the a file, and the king is still here. So what now? The best move here, I don't know. The move he played is maybe I'm not sure, because it allows white to keep the pressure on with this move. The pin you see is still here, and black is still crawling here. So what to do here? You cannot take, because then white just takes here, and even though this is hanging, the knight is also hanging, and this is just losing. And you cannot take here. Then you would take with the rook, and the bishop will still be a total mess down here at c8. Will never get out, and the knight is really dominating. Maybe you should give some air or something, but it's clear that white has pressure here. Queen h4. That's interesting. That's not so bad, maybe. So white is paying for having this piece out in the open, and he played this move, and that's based on very serious calculation here. And here the computer suggests counterplay with this move. And I don't know if the idea is that you actually, when you take here, you're threatening mate in 2. You probably have to go back with the knight. This looks back. The problem I think I have to switch the Indians off. I can't stop looking at it. This looks bad for white, doesn't it? You can. Oh no. He's threatening to take with the rook here, so you have to do something about the bishop. Yeah, this is good for black actually. So f4 was a good move. So maybe white's play was not perfect. King e1 was definitely wrong. So let's see what he could have done instead. Maybe just knight here. What about this move? What happens here? This is very unclear. Rook here. Computer tends to like this move. So what happens after this move? And then, and this is just winning for white. Okay. So d3 and knight d3 was good. Okay. Oops. This is the interesting point. He took on h2, but this was a big mistake based on a serious miscalculating. White played queen d6. Now what happens after queen check? That's the big question. If the bishop goes back and black is allowed to take on a2, he will be threatening this pawn here. The problem is, and this is what he didn't see, of course, is this move. And it's threatening the knight, the queen here. And after this move, with the idea, of course, after this move, then you have this move and check here and winning the queen. But white's got something smarter than taking the rook, and it's kind of nice. It should be easy to see because after this move, white is actually threatening mate in one move and the queen, and black is just finished now. So queen takes, king went here, and this is so nice. And here the white is more or less he can give the queen with queen a3, which only loses the queen. Well, white is of course completely winning. He played this move, and here is mate in next move. So very nice game by Anton Korobov. I think I just have to get used to this new setup, and I definitely have to switch off the engine, so we will have more discussion of now this was a very dynamic and tactical game, but in general we like to talk more about strategy and strategic concepts here at GM Talks than actual variations and lines and so on, because that tends to be just, well, noise often. Well, this was GM Talks. I'm back again. Thank you for watching.